Hey everybody, so today I'm going to approach the topic of gardening for beginners. I think there's a lot of demand right now for more information on just getting started gardening, growing your own food, just a lot more interest in the topic than there may have been in the last few years. I've been gardening for a couple of years now, at least 3 in this garden and several before that, but I thought I would try to make a little video series that breaks down the information in short, quick videos in simple ways to understand. Because when you start looking at information on gardening, when you know nothing about it, you get a massive amount of information. And there are a few key factors that if you don't understand quite how they work, that get really, really confusing very quickly when you just Google it. So the first thing we need to talk about is zones, gardening zones. And this seems like a pretty basic topic to any gardeners, but this video is for beginners. So in the United States, we have something called zones, and it has to do with your level above sea level, your elevation. We're about 3,700 feet here, and that puts me in zone 5A. And now the way you look this up is you can Google gardening zones, but show you a map. And you can pick out your zone from the colorings on the map. I will put one up here on the screen. Anyway, so you find your zone. And that is a zone of which your plants, it helps you determine what kind of plants you can actually plant. Because what you can plant here is very different than what you can plant in the mountains or in the low deserts, or even, humidity levels. It just basically has made it simplified. They made a system that simplified it for everybody. So all you need to do is figure out what zone you are. I just realized I don't have a good example here in my kitchen because I already planted my perennials. But a perennial, we're gonna switch tracks and we'll come back. 2 definitions. A perennial is a plant that you plant, and because it's a perennial in your zone, it means that it'll come back year after year after year. So like vegetables that are perennials, like asparagus, strawberries. There's a whole bunch of different kinds of things that are perennials. Or perennial flowers would be like roses are usually perennials. Or there's a lot of different kinds of like salvia or rudbeckia or tulips. Different varieties of different things can be perennial. Now that versus annual, which is like the majority of the things they sell in the garden centers, the things that die back every year. Tomatoes, marigolds, all your vegetables basically. A lot of petunias and zinnias, sunflowers, all those things that only last 1 year. That's an annual. So your zoning tells you how cold your nights are and how hardy your plant is, and if it'll come back again and again. Now this is something that you won't have to worry too much about if you're buying your plants locally, because a lot of local garden centers actually only get in the stuff that will do well in your area, because distribution centers are not usually local. The places where the plants are actually grown, they're big centers and they're all over the United States, but our little local garden centers like Baumgart's and Walmart and Ace Hardware and anywhere else that you're buying plants, they get them from other states and they ship them here. So they're picking the ones to ship here that are in your zone, so it makes it easier. But I just wanted to clarify what zoning is. It also helps you determine how long your growing season is. Now, growing season is also very important when you're beginning gardening, because a lot of vegetables you can grow. I mean, anybody can grow onions, per se. But if you are wanting to get big, bold onions, you have to have a fairly long growing season, or you have to start with a variety of onion that's already grown half the way. Does that make any sense at all? You can't start from seeds in a short growing season and expect to get big onions, because you don't have enough time, you don't have enough heat, you don't have enough summer. So that is something you just have to consider when you're looking at what vegetables and what you want your results to be, what you're going to purchase and put in your garden. I'm sitting here editing this video that I filmed And I realized that I am already to the 6-minute mark, and we have just gone over definitions of things that you need to know just as a beginner gardener. So I think I'll end this video here, and then I'll start the next video in a whole new video. The next section in a whole new video. It's going to be about just a handful of plants that I'll explain. They're basically the plants that you might want to start with and the differences in the different types you can buy. And it was just going to be too much information for this one video. So I'm going to split it into two.